Students, in our first part, we discussed about the Newton's first law of the motion. Now, we discuss about the Newton's second law of the motion. Before we turn to our Newton's second law of the motion, we understand some examples. If we have two balls, one is a plastic ball and other is a rubber ball, and both the balls have a different type of mass. If we throw that both the balls in a equal velocity to the another student and they catches the ball, which ball is easier to catch? And there is no question, a plastic ball is easy to catch, and there is a catch. All of you played cricket. To play the cricket, two types of balls are used. One ball is a cork ball and other ball is a sponge ball. If we catch the sponge ball, it is easy to catch the cork ball. Understand about it. Then think about the another example. If we have the two different objects or the different balls having the same mass, and if we throw that balls in different velocity to the another student, and that another student catches that both the balls. A ball which are thrown by the maximum velocity, to catch this ball there is some difficulty, and a ball which are thrown by the minimum velocity, the another student catches that ball in very easy way. म्हणजे काय, जेव्हा आपण दोन वेगवेगळ्या वस्तुमानाच्या वस्तू एकाच वेगाने फेकतो, जेव्हा आपण दोन वेगवेगळ्या वस्तुमानाच्या वस्तू एकाच वेगाने फेकतो किंवा दोन वेगवेगळ्या वस्तुमानाचे बॉल आपण एकाच वेगाने जर फेकले, तर ज्या बॉलचं वस्तुमान जास्त आहे तो बॉल आपल्याला पकडण्यासाठी थोडा हार्ड जातो. किंवा समान वस्तुमानाचे बॉल वेगवेगळ्या वेगाने जर आपण फेकले, तर ज्या बॉलचा वेग जास्त आहे तो बॉल आपल्याला कॅच करण्यासाठी थोडा जास्त कठीण वाटतो. It means that there is some property when one object strike on the another object. When one object strike on the another object, when one object strike on the another object, at that time the former object create or apply the force on the another object. Former object create or apply the force on the another object, and that applied force is depending on some property, and that property is known as the momentum. That property is known as the momentum. How can we define the momentum? See here, a product of mass and velocity. What is the momentum? Momentum is a product of a mass and velocity of an object is called as momentum. So each and every object has a momentum. Each and every object has a momentum, and that momentum is depends on the mass of that object and velocity of that object. Understand about it? Each and every as like an inertia, each and every object has a property. That property is depends on the two factors. Which is that factors? One is the mass of that object, and other is the velocity of that object. So we define the momentum. What is the definition of the momentum? See here, momentum is a product of mass and velocity of an object is called as momentum. According to our definition, we create a formula for the momentum. So momentum is equal to mass into velocity. Momentum is equal to mass into velocity. To denote the momentum, we use the letter P. So we say that P equal to m into V. M stands for the mass of the object and V stands for the velocity of the object. Momentum is a physical quantity, and the momentum is a vector quantity. It means that to describe the momentum we need unit and direction also. So momentum is a vector quantity and the direction of the momentum is toward the velocity of the object. Direction of the momentum is towards the velocity of an object. So momentum is a vector quantity, and to describe the momentum we need a unit. Unit of the momentum in SI system is kilogram meter per second, and in CGS system gram centimeter per second. Unit for the momentum is kilogram meter per second, and in CGS system that is gram centimeter per second. Now, as we understand what is the momentum, momentum is a property of an element. That property depends on the mass of the object, not only element but also it is the property of any object. So momentum is a property, and that moment of an object depends on the mass of that object and velocity of that object. It is also a vector quantity. It is also a vector quantity, and direction of the momentum is the same the direction of that velocity of that object. Now we turn to the Newton's second law of the motion. Newton's second law of the motion. Newton stated the laws of motion, and that are the three laws. First law we discussed in our first part, and now we discuss about the second law of the motion, which are stated by the Newton. So what is the statement of the Newton's second law of the motion? See here, the rate of change of momentum. The rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied force, and change of momentum occurs in the direction of the force. So what is the statement of the Newton's second law? The Newton's second law, that is the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional. The rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied force. Is directly proportional to the applied force, and change of momentum occurs in the direction of the force. The change of momentum occurs in the direction of the force. That is the Newton's second law of the motion, and with the help of that second law we create a most fundamental or important equation for the force. So students, we discussed about what is the Newton's second law of the motion. The rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied force, and the direction of the change in momentum occurs in the direction of the applied force. Now see here, suppose an object of a mass m. Suppose an object of a mass m has an initial velocity u. Suppose an object has an initial velocity m and the mass of that object is m. If the F force is applied on it, on that object, if the F force is applied on that object for a time t, then we know that when force is applied on that any object, there is a change in velocity. If we know that when a force applied on any object, at that time there is a change in velocity, and the same way when a F force applied on the object for a time t and the velocity gets changed, and that change in velocity is a v. So according to the momentum, we know that there is a two different type of velocities in one object. Initial velocity a u, and after applying the force, that the final velocity is a v. It means that there is a change in momentum. So the initial momentum of that object is a mu. We have the formula for the momentum, that is p equal to m into v. V is the velocity, and for initial velocity we use the letter u. For initial velocity we use the letter u. So the initial momentum of that object is m into u, and after applying force there is a change in velocity. So If there is a change in velocity, at that time momentum also get changed, and so the final momentum of that object is m into v. The final momentum of that object is m into v. Then we calculate the rate of change of momentum. So rate of change of momentum is equal to change in momentum by time. The rate of change of momentum is equal to change in momentum divided by time. So rate of change of momentum. How can we calculate the change in momentum? Change in momentum calculated by when we subtract the initial momentum from the final momentum. When we subtract that initial momentum from the final momentum, so we have the formula for the change in rate of change of momentum is equal to final momentum minus initial momentum divided by t. We have the values of the final momentum and initial momentum. We keep that value in that given equation. So rate of change of momentum is equal to, what is the value of the final momentum? That is the mv. Then what is the value of initial momentum? That is the mu. mv minus mu divided by t. We modify that equation in the form of that. See here, in final momentum mv and initial momentum mu, in both the quantities m is the common. M is the common, and they have the m is the mass of the same object, so they have the equal values. So we m take a common, so we derive that equation in the form of that m in bracket v minus u by t. M in bracket v minus u by t. By the changing that equation in the form, there is no change in the values of the main equations. So now we have, see here, in the another side, we have the rate of change of momentum, that is m in bracket v minus u by t. I modified that equation in the form of that. See here, m in bracket v minus u by t is also equal to m into, means a multiply, m multiplied by v minus u by t. Then we have the values of rate of change of momentum, that is the m into a, or m multiplied by a. What is the a? A is the acceleration. How that acceleration come here? See here, v minus u by t is the formula for the acceleration. We also discussed that acceleration. What is the acceleration? So we have the formula for the acceleration, that is v minus u by t, and we have that values in that equation. So we put the value of a, v minus u by t. Then we will get the formula for the rate of change of momentum, that is the m into a. Rate of change of momentum is the m into a. Now, according to our Newton's second law of motion. Remember the Newton's second law of the motion. What is the statement of the Newton's second law of the motion? Rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to. See, understand about the Newton's second law of the motion. And we apply the Newton's second law for that equation. So remember the statement of the Newton's second law. The rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to applied force. Rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied force. We take that part of that statement until the applied force. So according to the Newton's second law of the motion, we know that the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to applied force, and we have the values of applied force, that is the F. We have the value of applied force, that is the F. So we will get this equation according to Newton's second law, that is rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to F. Now we have the value of the rate of change of momentum. Where is it? See here. It is the value of rate of change of momentum is equal to ma. So we state that ma is directly proportional to F. ma is directly proportional to f. I write the equation in the another form. That is, the f is directly proportional to ma. There is no change in the value. There is no change in the value. If we write the equation ma is directly proportional to f or the f is directly proportional to ma, there is no change in the values of the equation. You see here in the equation, the left side and right side, they does not have a equal value, but the values of that left side and right side in the form of proportion, and that proportion is directly proportional. So when we in such equation, when we calculate the equation or there is similar values of that both the side, that is the left side and right side, we multiply the right side by the coefficient. We multiply the right side by the constant, and so we'll get the equation for the f, that is f equal to k into ma. What is the k? K is the proportionality constant. What is the k? K is the proportionality constant, and the value of k is equal to 1. Value of k is equal to 1, and when we keep the value of k in our given equation, when we keep the value of k, that is the 1, in our given equation, we will get the most fundamental equation in physics, that is f equal to m into a. It is the equation for the force. It is the most fundamental equation in physics, that is f equal to m into a. Means force equal to mass into acceleration. What is force equal to mass into acceleration? It is a force. Force equal to mass of an object into acceleration. It is the most fundamental equation in physics. So now we know that force is a physical quantity, and to describe the physical quantity we need a unit. We need a unit, that is unit of force in SI system and unit of force in CGS system. So unit of force in SI system. In SI system, that is the Newton. Young. The unit of force in SI system, that is the Newton, it is a Young. In the honor of scientist Newton, the unit of force in SI system is also termed as the Newton. So in CGS system, it is a dyne. It is a dyne. Unit of force in CGS system is a dyne. Unit of force in SI system is a Newton. Newton is a scientist. In the honor of the great scientist that is Newton, the unit of force is also described as a Newton. Now, what is the 1 Newton force? How can we define the 1 Newton force? म्हणजे 1 न्यूटन बलाची व्याख्या आपल्याला कशी करता येईल? 1 न्यूटन बल. Which force is termed as the 1 Newton force? A force necessary, a force necessary for a force necessary for acceleration of 1 meter per centimeter square in a object having mass 1 kg. A force is necessary for acceleration of 1 meter centimeter square in a object having mass kg. That force is termed as 1 Newton force. म्हणजे 1 न्यूटन बल कशाला म्हणायचं? 1 किलोग्रॅम वस्तुमानाच्या पदार्थामध्ये 1 मीटर प्रति सेकंदचा वर्ग त्वरण निर्माण करण्यासाठी लागणाऱ्या बलाला 1 न्यूटन बल असे म्हणतात. What is mean by the 1 Newton force? A force necessary for acceleration of 1 meter per second square in an object having a mass 1 kg. So now 1 dyne force. We also define the definition for the 1 dyne force. A force necessary for acceleration. A force necessary for acceleration of 1 centimeter per second square in a object having a mass having mass of 1 gram. Having a mass of 1 gram. It is the definition for the 1 dyne force. A force necessary for acceleration of 1 centimeter per second square in an object having a mass 1 kg, 1 gram. म्हणजे 1 ग्रॅम वस्तुमानाच्या पदार्थामध्ये 1 मीटर प्रति सेकंदचा वर्ग त्वरण निर्माण करण्यासाठी लागणाऱ्या बलाला 1 डाईन बल असे म्हणतात. दॅट इज द डेफिनेशन ऑफ द 1 Newton force and 1 dyne force. Newton is a unit for a force in SI system and dyne is a unit for force in CGS system. Now, what is the values of 1 Newton equal to how many dyne? म्हणजे 1 न्यूटन बरोबर किती डाईन ही व्हॅल्यू कशी निश्चित करायची? सो वी हॅव द फॉर्म्युला 1 न्यूटन इक्वल टू व्हॉट इज मीन द 1 न्यूटन? 1 न्यूटन इज 1 किलोग्राम into 1 meter. 1 kilogram into 1 meter. 1 meter per second square. So 1 Newton equal to what is another 1 kilogram? We turns that 1 kilogram into the gram. It means that 1000 gram into 100 centimeter per second square. Now see here what happened. 1000 into 100. I will take that multiplication in the bracket into 1 gram. 1 gram into 1 centimeter per second square. What happened here? 1000 means it is a 10 raised to 3. What do you know the 1000? It is a 10 raised to 3. Multiplied by what do you know the 100? It is a 10 raised to 2. And 1 gram and 1 dyne, 1 gram into the 1 centimeter per square, it is a 1 dyne. It is the value of 1 gram into a 1 centimeter per square. It is the value of 1 dyne force. So 10 raised to 3 into 10 raised to 2 means it is a 10 raised to 5 dyne. It is a 10 raised to 5 dyne. It means that 1 Newton force equal to 10 raised to 5 dyne. It means that 1 Newton force equal to 10 raised to 5 dyne. Now, F equal to ma, that is the equation, most fundamental equation in physics, and that equation is derived with the help of the Newton's second law. Now we also discuss about the units of the force. That is in SI system the unit of force is a Newton, in CJ system the unit of force is a dyne. Now after that we also discuss about the definition of the 1 Newton force and 1 dyne force and the values of the 1 Newton and 1 dyne. How many 1 Newton equal to the how many dyne, that is the 1 Newton equal to 10 raised to 5 dyne. In our next part, we must discuss or we will discuss about the Newton's third law. Thank you.